Hey everyone! So this week we are topicless, and that's a bad thing for me because I have issues when it comes to coming up with ideas of things to talk about. So I actually had to go and ask Twitter for suggestions, and one of the suggestions was that I talk about food. And from that suggestion, I decided that I would talk about some of my favorite book bloggers. And yes, this connection does make sense, and I'll just kind of explain that a little later, and you will understand it. So, I feel like it goes without saying that the rest of the Totally Booksessed group are some of my favorite book bloggers. But we have already talked about all our blogs and we always link to them, so you know what our blogs are. And I want to focus on some blogs that you may not know about. Um, First up, my personal favorite, or one of my personal favorites, is Lauren from Lauren's Crammed Bookshelf. Her blog was the very first blog I ever found back in late 2008 when I was Googling something about, I believe it was Sarah Dessen's latest book. I found her blog and I was amazed to see that she's around my age and that she was reviewing these books and she was um, getting to chat with authors and that people like read her blog and things like that. So I was just amazed by her and I followed her blog for a couple months and I found a ton of other blogs through hers. And she is really the one who inspired me to start my blog. We have very similar tastes. She reviews a lot more contemporary than most blogs, which I really enjoy because I feel like a lot of blogs focus on paranormal and dystopian and things like that. And contemporary kind of gets pushed to the side, but not on Lauren's blog. She reviews a lot of contemporary, so if you're a contemporary fan, you should check out her blog. She also does great author interviews, giveaways, just everything. And she is a really nice person. She actually, when I first started my blog, I emailed her asking for some tips, and she was so sweet. She emailed me back very quickly, and she gave me some tips and things that she got help with when she first started, and she really encouraged me to keep mine going. So you guys can thank Lauren for me being here as a blogger, and I'm super grateful to her. So you should check out her blog. And then next there is Erica from the Bookseller, and like seller is in basement, not as in like buy this book. Um, Erica's the one who suggested I talk about food, and from that I decided that I wanted to talk about Erica, and I figured I can't exactly just talk about Erica, so maybe I should talk about like my favorite book bloggers. So this all made sense in my crazed mind. I get connections in really weird places, so I hope that made sense to you guys too. So Erica's blog is very unique in that you can really get a sense of Erica's humor in all of her posts. And I always go to Erica's blog when I'm having a bad day and I really need something to laugh about. Not that Erica's like posts are funny, but she just throws like funny things into all of her posts. I always watch her vlogs. She cracks me up and she has the same taste in books as me, so whenever I read like a rave review on her blog, I know that I'm gonna love that book, so I always take her recommendations seriously. And I think probably a lot of you guys could too, so that's a good reason to check out her blog. And she has bunnies that she posts pictures of sometimes, so I like to look at bunnies. um, Next up is Nancy from Tales of a Ravenous Reader, and I have a little list here. That's what I keep looking at so I don't forget somebody. Nancy is. It's kind of hard to explain how I met Nancy because I don't exactly remember how I started like talking to her. I remember that I won a contest on her blog, and so she emailed me about that. And then for some odd reason, we started chatting on AIM, and we chat a lot now. And I got to meet her in New York at Book Expo America. I also got to meet Erica. I forgot to mention that. But she's just as cool in person as she is online. Her blog, Tales of a Ravenous Reader, is seriously amazing. I have always like aspired to have my blog like hers. She does a lot of paranormal and dystopian reviews. She throws contemporary in every now and then, but she's very picky about her contemporary. She also does a lot of features, Sneak a Peek Saturday, where she posts like whether it be a first chapter of a book that's not out yet, something like that, or first couple pages. She also she lives out in California, so she gets to attend a lot of awesome author events, and I'm so jealous of all the authors that she's got to meet. But she is very generous, and she usually gets multiple copies of their books signed so she can give some away on her blog. I know coming up she should have giveaways of Anna and the French Kiss and Lola and the Boy Next Door by Stephanie Perkins, because she just met her. And I think she might be having Lauren Oliver's books as well, because she just met her as well. And if you live out in California, her blog is a great source for finding out about author events that are going to happen, because she always posts about them ahead of time. So I would definitely recommend Nancy's blog for fans of paranormal and dystopian, and you can get some great giveaways over there. And also, Nancy has an amazing sense of style. Like, if you ever need help with jewelry or shoes or things, you should ask her, because she is just, she has some of the most amazing stuff. I just see pictures of her jewelry and I just want it all. So, it doesn't have to do with book blogging, but you know, if girls out there like jewelry, like me, she's a good place to go to. And then I also want to mention Katie at Sophisticated Reviews. I really wish I had like the I don't know what the word I'm looking for is, but I really wish I had come up with her name for her blog before she did, because like Sophisticated Reviews is a lot better than Katie's book blog, but I'm not creative enough. So back to Katie and not my idiocy. So Katie has a very cool blog. She does some different features that you won't see on other blogs. She does Fan Art Friday, which is her own creation, and Katie is a graphic designer. She did my business cards. I know Harmony showed them on one video, but there's a closer look. And she also did my new blog design. She is my go-to girl for any type of design. But she uses her design skills to create a new cover for a book. So I really like this feature, because sometimes book covers don't tell you a whole lot about the book, but then Katie redesigns them, and a lot of the time she's done it after she's read the book, so she can put a little more of what's in the book on the cover. So I feel like I get some more insight of what's actually the book's about from her fan art. So that's a really cool feature, and she also does very awesome reviews. She likes paranormal and dystopian too as well, just like Nancy. And she also has her own design site. Katie Creates is what I want to call it, but I think it is Katie Designs. But I'll link to that as well. I'll put links to all of these below so you can check them out. And then the last two blogs I want to talk about. So a couple other bloggers and I created this program called Big Sibling, Little Sibling Blogger Mentor Program. And it is just what the name says it is. It's a mentor program for bloggers, and it's where we pair up a big sibling, somebody who's been blogging for over a year and kind of feels like they know what they're doing, with little siblings who are just getting started and need help with their blogs. So I actually have two awesome little siblings. I love them. They are the perfect little siblings in my opinion, and they are Willa from Willa's Ramblings and Meredith from Mint Tea and a Good Book. And they consider themselves little siblings, but I think their blogs are very well developed, and I love them, and they're great to chat with on Twitter. Like I said, they're just the sweetest people. And Willa is also a writer, so she does a bi-weekly writing feature on her blog, so if you're like a writer, you should check that out. And Meredith, she is just really fun. She interviews a bunch of other bloggers on her blog, so it's a really great way to get to know some of your favorite bloggers. And she does great reviews, and she does a little bit of every kind of review: contemporary, dystopian, paranormal, fantasy. So it's a very eclectic taste. But those are all the blogs that I'm going to talk about today, because I have talked way too long as it is. I'd love it if you check them out and then maybe leave some comments about what some of your favorite blogs are. And I'll see you next week, hopefully with a shorter video.